Whoa.
Yo, so Henry, how you doing?
Yeah, chilling, man. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. So, for anyone that's tuning in, Henry Pyne has done his tape. Liquid Damage is the name of his alias, and he's done his tape called "It's Not About You."
It's not. It's never about you, man.
Oh, hey,
Yo.
you got the box over there? We can
I do.
we can show them what it looks like.
There we are, man.
You show the people, man.
Oh,
yeah, show the people.
That's it right there. Wait, is that upside down? No, that's it. That's it. Liquid Damage. Sorry,
So yeah, Liquid Damage. It's Not About You. Would you say it's more than Chopped and Screwed, or is it just that?
Yeah, I reckon it is.
It's Chopped, Screwed, Damaged.
Yeah,
as you've
definitely
explained it.
Yeah, I think the damage part is really important. But yeah, like definitely the main influence for sure is I guess DJ Screw and that whole like Houston sound and the way they kind of like slow things down. Yeah, I think I really was drawn to that vibe, and that like headspace, I guess, like kind of like a hazy atmosphere. And yeah, but
why Destroy?
I think Destroy, like I think I was just going for like kind of a more like of a cinematic approach.
Yeah, I definitely thought that.
Yeah,
because as I listened to your tape the whole way through, I've listened to your tape like many times, at least 12 times.
Yeah.
So I was doing the mastering, and
Shout
I
out
just
Spencer.
like it. I love the tape. But every time I listen to it, I just feel like I'm trying to piece together a story.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like, well, I think like a lot of it also derives from dare I say, like meme culture, like like a lot of the, I mean, like I would say there's definitely an added humor, like a satirical take on things, with I guess what you would call like the theory of like liquid damage. But yeah, I think like, yeah, with that regard to like a cinematic thing, I definitely wanted to like hit, like memes do, sort of like hit a really quick kind of emotive value, or yeah, like something like relatively satirical for sure. Yeah. And then I guess like the way that kind of developed sort of, brought together different moods, therefore like creating some kind of narrative, I guess. Yeah, which was, so I mean, it was all, yeah, it was really, really natural.
But how is that damage? I'm still trying to figure out
what the damage is.
Like, let me at least put my take on it.
Yeah.
Try to sort of decipher what I think.
Yeah.
The point you've tried to get across is.
Yeah.
I think that when you listen to your tape, I'm not going to lie, like there were some moments where I just felt like I had to endure the sound.
Oh yeah,
there were moments in there where it's like, oh my god, when is this going to stop?
Yeah, man, that was definitely.
I don't even need to say in a good way. Like, I'm not going to try and soften the blow.
Yeah,
but it's because you're trying to tell a story.
Yeah, for sure, man. Absolutely, dude. Like, and I guess that is sort of where the damage lies, is chasing like relatively dirty sounds, which kind of like does kind of acknowledge, like the Dirty South, screw tapes. Like it was lo-fi as all hell. So I mean, like if we want to get on the methodology and shit of Liquid Damage, like it's all sort of done using like YouTube rips and then brought into like iMovie, which like completely fucks the entire like compression of the file, and then you end up having these like really kind of interesting and dirty, damaged sounds in the end of it, which is cool, man.
So it goes beyond that.
Yeah.
Because so, what did you say already that you've made your whole tape in iMovie?
Yeah, I made the whole. It's all done on iMovie. Yeah. Well, yeah.
That might be a first for Chopped and Screwed.
Yeah, man. I reckon like.
I think, but I think you've used the program, like you've still used it for its purpose.
Yeah. Well.
Which is why I'm so incessant about asking if you've got a story to this thing.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
There's massive story to this. Like one, I guess where like I found out like the use or the function of iMovie as like production means was this is way back, like maybe 5 years ago. Me and my friends were kind of like getting into, you know, like DJing and shit. But none of us had equipment, and we all wanted to like record mixes and like send them to each other. So we ended up just like kind of putting them together on iMovie and sending them to each other, and like they just turned out to be these like really cool and you know, elusive tapes that me and my friends did. And then how like I guess.
So you're recording these to cassette?
No, not to cassette. Not
just
to cassette. Sorry,
digital tapes.
Yeah, just digital tapes. Mixtape. Yeah.
Go on.
And then I guess so that's where I learned, I guess, like the use of iMovie. And then how Liquid Damage came about was me and my boy Lockie, shout outs Lockie. We used to do this kind of like, I guess, YouTube battling with each other. Back when we used to live with each other. And yeah, I guess how it went down was we had like the two laptops set up, hooked up to two different sound systems. And then we would just kind of like collage sounds over the top of each other. And we used to like, you know, it only used to be like invite friends to experience it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it was just like, yo, this is kind of funny, you know. And also definitely. Like the sound clips that we were finding at the time attributed to this kind of like, you know, I would say like me and Lockie have a relatively like dark humor or whatever. So we're, you know, finding these samples that like would overlay over like a 25% slowed down track, and it would just be like really kind of satirical and just obnoxious. Obnoxious is the word I would give Liquid Damage for sure. Like it's not easy on the ears, and
yeah, I think obnoxious is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think obnoxious is the one.
But it's also assertive. It's an assertive, aggressive type of obnoxious.
Yeah, true. There are definitely some tracks in there
because you've got the meme horns in there. You go, dude,
of course.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I think.
Let's play the first track from your album. The one where it goes dun dun bum ba da da da. Whoa, whoa, whoa! You know that one, the first track on your album.
Track?
Yeah.
The first track has all the like.
It breaks out into this thing.
Like this one? Oh, yo, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, yeah. This is the first track.
This is the part I was talking about. Won't be amazing, but
Mama, I'm so sorry. I'm so
way louder,
obnoxious.
man. Let's blow the house down. Let's play it back again. That little bit. Yeah, man. Okay, sick, man. Well, hey, the other track I wanted to hear though, I think it was called "Suppressed Memories."
Damn.
We'll play it later.
Yeah,
We'll play it later. We've sorry for the technical difficulties just before.
Damn.
Um,
Technical.
Dang.
Damn.
Well, another thing on display, another thing on offer tonight is we've got this ongoing art display.
Yeah, man.
Is
Shout
my
out.
leg blocking that at all?
Shout
That's all,
out.
G. So we've got this really crazy contraption. Henry said if you just touch it, everything goes to your finger.
Science.
It's really a piece of work.
There's bigger ones in Science Works. You should go there. Not to my room. But yeah, shout outs Dasha. She bought this for me. Yeah. But we can change it up. We can change it to the guy if you want.
Oh yeah. So this artwork, we're gonna bring in another piece of the puzzle. And what is that?
That is
What about the dinosaur?
the dinosaur.
The dinosaur was doing well.
Yeah. Okay, then there's this guy. Shout outs Ollie. Zero. We were in Japan together and I got this gold thing. It's awesome. Actually I wanted to, so with the meme horns, that was, those were specifically to like kind of, I guess, not mock, but like, like more acknowledge like reggae. They're called like Stone Love mixtapes, dude. And I think that's like a lot of what I try to put in to like Liquid Damage is the exaggeration of the ad lib. Like that's the best. I reckon ad libs are hilarious, man. And like,
so are you
dude,
getting
like,
are you getting your ad libs from YouTube?
oh yeah,
videos?
100%, man. I'd steal them from like everyone, bro. Like Travis Scott, like I did this one. I was trying to find ad libs from Travis Scott because his dude Mike Dean mixes and masters his ad libs as well to like the same degree as the whole song. So they're like really crazy ad libs, you know what I mean? Like like some wild shit like that. And I ended up only finding the ad libs from a song and played it through, and it was only the ad libs, and it was like the funniest thing that I'd ever
That's
come
dope.
across.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a bit of a master at changing the context of
Yeah,
things,
man,
I
that's
reckon.
what it's about, dude. That's like
see,
suppressed memory. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. See, that's this track, Suppressed Memories. It the first time I heard it, it really struck a chord
Yeah,
because it's
deep.
this really intense scene. I'll try not to give too much of it away, but I guess I will.
You know,
But
like, you might.
we'll play the track later. But there's this woman and she's yelling at her mother, saying, "Oh, I fucking hate you. You suck. I don't want you to be my mother anymore. Do you even love me?" And it's very intense, as you can imagine. And this person is just loudly screaming this kind of stuff at her mother. And you've got this. Did you sample Ennio Morricone or something?
I think it might have been. Oh shit! I'll have to get back to you on that one.
It was
it's
like
a
Wild
blues.
West
It's a
kind of
it's a
Wild
blues
West
track.
blues.
Yeah,
sort of
but it's
thing.
slowed down, and then I've added some slowed down Felicia Atkinson and slowed down S&D as well. So
Oh, mad.
yeah, just to add
Sick.
those kind of like there's like a lot of like these very kind of eerie textures that creep through the slowed down shit.
So this is more than just like a couple of tracks we're talking about.
Oh, dude, the file,
Yeah.
the files go deep, man. Like, Yeah, no, I reckon each track would.
actually, let's get a close up on one of these iMovie projects, because
Oh,
I'm just the way it looks is complicated. It looks damaged.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, and it's not fun to work with.
Yeah.
I don't know, how does it look like it's hard to, because it's so small. But initially,
there's so many. How many tracks do you think there are
so
in there?
Oh, okay, maybe like
open up one of your other ones.
Yeah, I'll go to the old ones.
Yeah.
And I'll try to figure out how many. I mean, yeah. Another little damage is that iMovie files, like if you delete them, like you can't export iMovie stem files. So therefore, like, if you're gonna and they take up quite a bit of space on your computer. So if you're gonna delete like a project, there's no way of recovering that
because it's not a professional program.
No, definitely not.
I guess that's the fact of the matter.
So realistically, okay, yeah. So
you should get iMovie Pro, dude.
Is that
iMovie
a thing?
Pro. It should be a thing.
Can you see the laptop?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty decent. I can't read the text or anything, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just open up.
Open up suppressed memories. Let's do that.
I'll open up Myro. What the hell is Myro?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
play this one.
Yeah, so this has like. What is that? Shit, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, like, you know, over
That looks mad though. That
like
is-
10 songs or something. Like.
Yeah, that's totally off the grid.
Yeah, it's good fun. It's good
Yeah.
fun.
You don't have a BPM in there.
Yeah, that's actually the hard thing is actually trying to create your own beat with the samples, because with the samples it's just a copy and paste thing, and there's no actual there's no grid.
It's just that it's your approach that's brought it on, because you work in video editing, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes,
So you work in film and storytelling.
Yeah, man, you could say so.
So-
I mean, I love narratives.
So then I think, yeah, exactly. Because of that, I think, I think the other way of music, like almost a polar opposite way to making music to what you've done is, sort of where, you might start with the drums, and you get like a 4-bar loop going,
Yeah.
and then go, oh, I'm grooving to that. Let's add something else in.
Yeah.
But I think that's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Because for you, you've got, firstly, you might have like 15 minutes of material already that you want to put together. And so you've had to sort of conceive that idea well in advance too.
How do you mean, what, that I've like come up with sort of how the song will go?
Yeah,
or?
well, like I feel like there's a different element of conception.
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah. How I approach is like, I'll find a certain sound or like a certain track or something like that, and I'll try to exaggerate that sound, and even bring in a bit of that culture to kind of like give it even more of like a rich context, and then of course, like, I'm just trying to be funny, realistically. It's just a bit of fun, really. Yeah. So do what you can do to add some humor if that's what you're about. But, yeah, man. Like, there's so many different ways. Like, essentially, when you're trying to create music, like, you want to go for some emotion or some narrative, or like, so, there's a million ways to skin a cat. Like,
Very true.
yeah. And realistically, like what Liquid Damage is like sound collage. You know what I mean? It's relatively illegal sampling, just smashed on top of each other. But it's still it works. Like, and like, yeah, just make music straight up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What else what's on your mind? What's going on? What else? Let's try to move it away from music.
Okay,
For a
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
It's gotten real dense.
Yeah, man.
Let's what? How about your playlist? Right, you were playing some pretty
Oh yeah, man.
select tunes earlier.
True. Let's get on the select.
This is the sort of music that Henry likes to listen to on a Friday night.
Yes.
Tonight's Friday.
Oh
So
shit.
we'll just have it on the background, but
Yes.
yeah, and so your new tape. Oh fuck!
It's
I want
happening.
to. I want to ask you something aside from tape. Yeah, we're talking about liquid architecture too,
Oh.
and so this is where you intern as well.
Yes, that's where I intern.
I thought that was interesting. Talking about the same way that they how like. We're talking about like aesthetic and
yeah, I think we were talking about.
and sort of the way it's sort of shown with labels and stuff.
Yeah. So
Did you say that they're a label?
no, they're not a label. Be sick if they had a label though. Shout out to Liquid Architecture. But no, like they're an art organization. So they're very much in the curatorial business. And I was talking to Spencer earlier. How they kind of curate their what they call investigations, and it can be thematic. Like one of theirs is called eavesdropping, and it's all about surveillance, pretty much. And I was talking to Spencer and saying like, what it would be cool if labels kind of would give a curatorial thematic, and then select artists to kind of like answer to that,
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that I thought I liked it how they were sort of involving visual art in such a unique way.
Yeah.
Would you say that's so the way they're drawing it? It feels more like an art gallery, if it could exist online, and host shows at multiple venues.
Yeah.
It feels like that would be what it is.
Yeah. I mean, documentation's a whole nother thing, but like when you're dealing with, I guess, the performance arts and like, live sound art. These are all like live performances that you have to go see. So, in regards of, like, how they catalog stuff, like, yeah, it's all like documented and stuff. I don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest.
No. I was.
No. What I'm saying, like, I think, they can't like store away like like 3D art or paintings or something. Like, what they're dealing with is like a live, like performance.
Live performance, right?
Yeah, so it's hard to like, catalog a live performance. Really.
Yeah, but they still kind of do it in their curation. I feel like that's where the cataloging comes through.
Yeah.
It's documented.
Yeah, definitely.
At least in the slightest.
Yeah. And they're also very strong on like academia and research. So, aside from the curated performances and the documentation, they have this whole other element of like literature and essays and lectures. Like they actually recently started a publication called Disclaimer, shout out, which kind of deals with, like, it's an online journal, I think annually or biannually or something, and it deals with, or publishes literature, essays, poems, anything like that, that all kind of deal with sound. So writings regarding sound or listening or any kind of subcategory that would fall under the umbrella of sound. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sick.
What about so you still think that the sound and visual art is connected in the same sense? Is that essentially what you're saying?
For liquid architecture?
Yeah. That's really what I'm going on about.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say that visual art is a big part of liquid architecture.
Oh, okay.
Like, how do you mean visual art? Like,
Well, I just find it interesting. That's. I just feel like they still have. I see that they've thrown some visual art shows before. I might be wrong.
what what do you mean by visual art?
Oh, like not necessarily paintings, but
Yeah.
things where there's a visual emphasis.
Yeah, I mean, they have quite a lot of commissioned video work.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
See, I think that's part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What about like what do you think of the community around that? And I was wondering about how you might describe it.
The community?
I'm not talking about putting a label on it, but I think in terms of describing it as the sort of aesthetic and the context it serves as well. For instance, a stereotype is to have old cartoons against lo-fi hip hop, for instance.
Yeah.
I was wondering what about the YouTube videos that you sample?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about putting them in sort of that kind of visual art sense?
Oh, you mean like bringing a visual element to Liquid Damage?
Yeah, but would it be the music videos? Sorry, the YouTube videos that you download? Convert?
Like, would I use them?
Yeah, would you use them in any way?
Yo, that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, I probably would. Would.
Do you know much about VDJing? Have you?
Yeah, man, I've actually recently
Suss
gone
that?
into that.
Oh man,
yeah, it's pretty great.
You should try doing that with the audio of the VDJ.
Yeah.
too.
So that's sort of the plan. That's what I was talking to you about with me, my mate Felix, who's a very talented, poet and lyricist and writer in general. And then I think his friend who does contemporary dance. We're thinking of doing this massive immersive performance. I mean, not specifically for the next Liquid Damage thing, but that music and kind of that humor will be implemented within all aspects of the performance. That's what we're kind of going for. Yeah.
So, do you think, for instance, the color, there needs to be a certain colored theme? A color that runs throughout. I'm thinking about what ideas
to Liquid Damage.
Yeah, well, in terms of what colors would you use? On that kind of basic level.
Damn, man, I think it would.
If you're gonna have it at M Pavilion, there's a lot of ways to decorate that. Would you go that far?
What, like doing an immersive lighting?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I reckon the emphasis is on like an immersive screen setup, but actually M Pavilion don't really recommend using screens, which is like kind of annoying. But yeah, I would definitely want to push a visual element for sure. Like, I do have an idea. I don't want to disclose it though, but yeah, it is sort of like the whole idea is kind of definitely referencing the YouTube videos. Because that was a big part of the new project. Is this kind of documentation and direct reference to the YouTube video. So I think maybe we'll do a little show and tell later. But I've credited all the samples, all the artists on the tape. But for the next one, I'm gonna credit the URLs of the YouTube videos. As opposed to the...
Oh, yeah, great idea.
So I'm just going to have a list of URLs.
That's going to look mad.
Yeah, man, yeah. Because it's important, man. I mean, one major thing is, obviously with this tape, I didn't get the samples cleared. But, fuck it. But yeah, you do have to acknowledge them at least, in printed form or, up on your motherfucking SoundCloud, like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Could you see back to the visual art though?
Yeah.
Could you see do you know about Akka? Do you know where Akka is?
I do know where Akka is.
Just near the Malthouse Theatre. It's this massive art installation space. It's what's it called, Nick? Australian Centre for Contemporary Art.
There you have it first.
It's an amazing, huge space just near the Malthouse Theatre, near VCA,
Shouts
the
Akka.
Sartle Centre, that kind of deal.
Shouts Akka. Shouts NGV. Shouts MPAV.
Could you see yourself doing like a big installation there, perhaps?
Dude.
If you were to take your ideas as far
Hell
as
yeah,
they could.
man. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it doesn't really matter, like, where it's held.
Mm.
As long as I do it.
You know what would be really cool?
Yeah.
You might be able to take Chopped and Screwed to a more physical kind of thing.
What, like,
And have, so every room is a different kind of part of the song. So that's you're kind of doing that layering stuff.
Yeah.
To make it so that the other songs sound more distant through plywood or some kind of material.
I've actually sort of done that in the new, like, for the audio for the new project.
Mm.
I'm very into architecture and shit. Like, I'm studying and so I really wanted to add this kind of like spatial aspect to the project, and I tried to do it on the last one as well, but I sort of kind of that idea was manifested sort of at a later stage of the project, so I couldn't really add it like that much into the last project, but this one for sure, very textured, spatial, and even more cinematic, I reckon, man. Like, it's pretty fun. I got a lot of gaming samples in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gaming, man.
What about your free time? Oh, actually, firstly, it's been a while since we updated.
Swap it up.
The show and tell theme. I think I'm going to choose one this time.
Oh, Spencer's got one.
I'm going to have a look. There is one big
This guy?
joint over there, but I'm not going to choose it.
Yeah, man, it's too obvious.
It's been too tempting.
The obvious choice, man.
but-
Maybe something different, man.
Oh, dang, you've got this glued on.
What about the drill?
Can I take that off?
Oh,
Is that
man,
okay?
casual.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's fine. It's dude. He's alive.
Oh, he's sticking back on. But
Superhero motherfucker.
What's that?
Superhero fucking dude. Oh, is that
Shouts Doom.
Yeah, true.
How's the lighting?
Fucking dude. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, like that. He looks like he's always dabbing.
Out here on the visuals.
Been holding on to him for
so that's MF Doom, yo.
Yeah, man. One of the best.
But
Well,
what
I mean,
about
that's Victor Vaughn.
Victor Vaughn.
Well,
yeah,
that is
that's right. Yeah,
But yeah, man. Shout out to MF Doom. He is
Yeah.
the one.
he's a storyteller, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But what about comic books? Like, because he's based off a Spider-Man villain. There's a
Fantastic
villain.
Four
Fantastic Four is he's based off.
is Doom. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Victor Vaughn.
Well, yeah,
In that
that's
case.
his like human name, I guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, comics.
yeah.
Comics.
Well, yeah, that's what he's inspired by.
Yeah, definitely.
How did this was sorry, pardon, yeah, how did it become the story of how it became
Yeah.
What's the question so I can repeat it?
how did he become MF Doom? Just curious, like his backstory from
Tell us how he became MF Doom.
Jeez. Wait, who? The rapper or
just
the villain?
Victor
Okay,
Vaughn.
the villain.
Yeah.
Well, I think Victor Vaughn was he was in competition. Well, no, I think he was working on the same. This is based off the movie. I haven't actually read the comic books, sadly. But he was working on some science stuff with Fantastic Four. They weren't Fantastic Four yet, though. They were all, whoever the people are. And I think something went wrong up in their spaceship, and then they all absorbed these crazy powers. And then on the conceptual side, Victor Vaughn became MF Doom. When he lost his way, man, he lost his way. He went to the dark side, and when you do that, you
I didn't know there
immediately
was such an
change
intricate
names.
story behind it.
Yeah,
Make
yeah.
myself look bad here.
Oh, yeah.
I am. Yeah, I should know. So what about your free time?
Free time.
Are you drawing? Are you always on that grind?
Yeah, man.
Doing architecture or making music?
I'm doing things. I think I have a pretty balanced way I go about my life.
That's good.
I have a few things here and there. In terms of like hobbies, I'm quite into like visual stuff actually. So like making visuals using like Touch Designer and stuff. I really like reading and I like drawing.
Reading love letters.
Yeah, man.
I love that's my best. That's my favorite kind of reading.
Dude, those text messages.
Yeah.
It's been
a while since I've received one, so just
Hook
send
it
one my
up.
way to 180 Park Street.
Hook Spencer
Thank
up,
you.
ladies. Yo, give him the plug. But yeah, shout outs to love letters because they don't exist anymore, and it's sad. I mean, like Valentine's Day, that's the resurgence. But
I miss the mail.
I miss the mail
Miss
too, man.
getting-
Like
I used to write letters to my friends.
text messages as well. You know what's the worst progression though is like with Instagram or whatever on the DMs, like people have the option to not even acknowledge or like not even reply with type, but they're like allowed to just like your message. Like I reckon that's bogus, man. Like
I never liked that. Yeah,
like
I am.
have the decency to say like, oh yeah, no problem, or like, you know what I mean? But like just having the option of just liking a message is that's
I
heavy.
think it's awful, but
That's heavy.
I also think it's the same with Facebook's Messenger. How people can like a message.
Yeah, the thumbs up.
I have
Yeah.
a version of the Messenger Lite on my phone,
Right.
and this doesn't have that function in it. How you can like a message, so I don't see that stuff when I talk to people, and it's great because it looks like they're openly just read the message. I'd much prefer that. Just see seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they saw it. Like they hopefully everything's like all understood.
Yeah.
And also you got to set the bar for that by never doing it yourself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I definitely hit the thumbs up. Wow, I just went full hypocritical, dude.
Oh no!
I
I
just
give you a
sniped.
thumb as a response, but I don't like giving it on the message.
Yeah, straight up. Yo, I fully.
chuck a thumbs up to
Dude.
show you don't care.
Yeah. Yo,
we don't appreciate your likes here.
shouts to
We want deep,
56K.
meaningful comments.
Yeah. Dude. Yo, if we get 5 likes on this video,
We're taking it down.
we're taking it. And then if we get 10 likes,
We're closing up. We're never live streaming again.
yeah. Yo, and if we get 50 likes, bro, if we get 56 likes, bro, then that would actually be pretty fresh.
Yeah, if
That'd
we
be
if
pretty
we do
fresh.
that, then everything's reversed.
That's like when you get like 666 on your unread emails. That's the number that you want for unread emails. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
definitely, bro.
you got to keep it at the quota.
Yeah.
And if we get 56 likes, man, people are fucking bored on a Friday.
Yeah, worldwide, dude. 56 likes. 56K likes, actually. We need
Yeah.
56,000. So if we reach 56,000 likes on this video, I will literally kill myself. That's super dark.
I don't think you should do that.
I'm not.
But-
I'm gonna take that back. I will delete all of my iMovie files straight up. Boom.
Start
You
again.
heard it. You start again. I will start my entire life
Yeah.
over.
Back to the topic of emoticons. Did you ever use MSN back in the day, the messenger?
I did.
I remember there were so many emoticons in there. I think that was the most customized one that you could have.
Yo, I don't know if you could beat Apple though. Like in terms of the ethnicities they have now.
MSN, you could like make it so that if you just typed a certain letter, it would have an emoticon. You could install an emoticon for that.
What? I
Yeah,
didn't know about
you
this.
could go that deep, and you could make it every time you type "cool" or some other word, it would replace it with an emoticon.
See, that's good. That's good coding.
Yeah,
That's good coding. Shouts to MSN coders.
I miss those days. I reckon they were zanier.
Yeah.
And sometimes you would talk to the worst friends online were the ones that would have. I had someone who had one for every letter at some point.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
I mean,
fuck
like,
you,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Just it's taking so long to load one message from you.
Fuck.
So many images.
Bored kids, man. Bored
Yeah.
kids. I mean, like, I do like Facebook or Apple, in fact, because they got the gendered zombies. They made sure that was like an option. Two genders for zombies. I'm about that. Like, shout outs to the zombie apocalypse though.
What else though? Do you find yourself? Are there any other emoticons? I hate this conversation, but are there any other emoticons that pick your fancy?
Yo, I'm back.
That pick your fancy, man.
Emoticons, bro.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the emoji video.
Yeah, that's really what I'm going on about.
I get you, man.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Okay, yo. Actually, the butterfly emoticons, I like that one. That one's alright. But the butterfly, it's kind of nice. And then they have an amoeba one as well. Shout outs to the people who have the flu, but they have like an amoeba disease one. It looks like I don't know, a cold flu creature. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, green.
But it's all about taking the piss out of it, isn't it?
Absolutely, man. In terms of what, life?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. So
well, I mean,
with your
no.
hobbies, is that what's going on here? Do you feel like you're just constantly taking the piss out of stuff, and that's sort of a way of enriching your life?
Nah, man. Like, I do serious things. But
Well, with your music, you get some really funny moments.
yeah.
Too.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think it just started off like that. I do like making. I have made some stuff. I mean, it's still kind of liquid damagey, but not specifically just taking the piss. Like, even the suppressed memory, like that's, or actually EPAR, pretty touchy track, probably the most brutal track.
Is EPAR meant to infer something else?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I guess in a way of translating sort of scenes from cinema that, involved rape.
Yeah.
Like, that's sort of what I was trying to like pinpoint with sound though, with this with the formula. You know what I mean? And then
I only realized that it was rape spelt backwards. EPA.
Shout outs Earl Sweatshirt because he did that first. Yeah. No, yo, that's fucked, bro.
That's not good.
Cut the straight.
It's very bad.
But yeah, let's bring it back. I mean, like, if also sort of on the same level is your like one of your favorite tracks is Suppressed Memory.
Yeah.
And like in a way, it still hits that like I guess strength. Well, not strength, but like fuck, I don't know, like quite a brutal aspect of life or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is. Nick, you should put that in the comments section. That it's in we posted it from the SoundCloud. Suppressed Memories. Yeah, just put it in.
Yeah, link that. But yeah, like Suppressed Memory, like it wasn't taking the piss. I mean, maybe it sounds like it for sure.
Oh
but,
yeah, I
but
didn't get to explain what happens at the end of that. I never got
yeah,
to say.
true. But
Um,
but realistically, like I was, yeah, like I wouldn't say it's taking the piss. It's definitely
It's
it's
no,
changing.
it's definitely not.
It's
Yeah.
changing a context, or it's changing like, yeah, it's changing the context.
But that's the joke of it as well.
Yeah. But in that regard, like I wouldn't say, like, you know, those specific songs like were taking the piss.
No,
You know what I mean?
there's you got to have contrast in anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just to tie up that story on how suppressed memories was unfurling. I think we're about to link it, but have a listen to it. At some point, there's this woman shouting at her mother, saying stuff, "I don't love you," or saying that it's very intense. This goes. How long does it go on for? Like that initial
Dude,
part?
Ages, man.
How many minutes long you reckon?
Well, the song's pretty long.
How long is it?
The whole track's 11:36.
11 minutes 36. This
Yeah,
takes you on
it's
a
pretty big.
journey. This
Yeah.
song,
Yeah, and then it kind of
and but it's also the part before it. It breaks out from all this distortion.
yeah.
And then you feel like you have a moment of clarity, but it quickly takes a turn for the worse.
Absolutely, man.
That's when she's getting mad at her mother, but then it gets back straight onto the right path. When the next moment you have some clarity is when, after all this arguing, Dr. Phil steps in and he tries to mediate the situation.
Yeah, mediate's the correct word. Yeah, man. I guess shout outs Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because if you were watching Dr. Phil, if you were watching it on TV, you'd be totally unfazed by what that daughter was saying to her mother. I feel, and
Because
it's really funny because it sounds like something, a domestic dispute you might want to call, like knock on their door, see if everything's
Say what
okay.
up. Yeah.
But then you're watching it on Dr. Phil, and especially shows like Jerry Springer, sometimes you end up having a laugh.
Yeah, man.
And these people are there punching each other.
Yeah.
They're just... Yeah. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah,
And
Jerry Springer, like, he started an entire kind of new wave of like that kind of reality show.
yeah, it's morbid.
It's crazy, man.
It's definitely we can all just say that it's needless.
And I mean, and like, using that specific sample,
how did you find that?
YouTube, man. Like it's, well, I guess the good question is like, how did your brain kind of work to want to find that sample? Do you know what I mean? Like and then this kind of brings in like the idea of memes again. Do you know what I mean? Like all these videos are online and people just love that. And
what was that video, Cash Me Outside? What was she on originally?
I don't know.
The show
I don't know. Catch Me Outside.
Cash Me Outside.
I don't think it was. Maybe it was Dr. Phil, dude.
Oh, was she on Dr. Phil? And that's where she made famous?
Yeah.
How about that? I would love to... it's part of a longer interview, the Cash Me Outside. It goes for like half an hour like a normal episode, doesn't it?
You guys want a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a beer next. Did you want one?
Oh, true. Yeah. Fucking, oh.
Podcast on Joe Rogan talking about that girl.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that, like, if you get his perspective
Oh,
on...
take the mic, man.
Yeah. Just, like, if you get his perspective on that whole episode of, like... How
Joe,
it goes
are you
down.
talking about Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
I don't like a lot.
Fucking,
a lot of
I
his
think he
podcasts.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, no shit. He's not... We're not the nicest
Joe Rogan's
guy, but,
trash, bro. Like,
I
man.
don't know, he's got some interesting guests on, man. I don't
Sorry, I
know.
cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, that episode, he just like he has Dr. Phil on, and yeah, you just kind of get like his perspective on that episode, and like, it's easy to villainize him, and it's kind of shit what he does, but like he honestly thinks he's like helping people, like on that show, which is like really weird to watch from the outside because you yeah, you don't really see that, and I don't think he is, but yeah, in his mind, he's
Yeah.
like totally like offering this like TV therapy for this girl, and like it's funny, man. I'm just saying, there's two sides to it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I want to say. But yeah,
Nah, Dr. Phil. No, it's a weird like platform for TV shows for sure. Like
Is it
well, like-
therapy for Dr. Phil, or is it therapy for the audience, or is it therapy for the people on stage? Which is more or less?
Therapy for Dr. Phil is a no for me.
Mm-hmm. Who's getting the most out of the experience?
You know what, like, I'd probably say the people who are getting railed, man. Like, you know, like it's just spectators. Dr. Phil is doing shit all, and then the guests are showing who they are, or you know what I mean. Like, but it's definitely the shittest way to go about therapy. But still, it may do some stuff. But it's horrible. Like.
yeah, I might just make him like YouTube famous, and then like I don't know, they might just have more like unwanted attention from that. You know, like, I honestly don't know if it is like good for the guests.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Yeah, it's interesting though, that's for sure.
Ooh.
But let's talk a little bit about just to wrap that off, because it was interesting how Dr. Phil is sort of mediating this, and you've taken the context out of it.
Yeah.
And so we're saying that it was a moment of clarity for your for what's it called, suppressed memories.
Yeah.
When it comes in. So
Yeah.
So, are there any other instances where you've changed the context of things, and kind of, how about, what was the first...
I would say
was there like a moment where you realized that you could do that in your music?
Oh, no, way before.
So it's always been about that.
Yeah.
Mm.
When Lockie and I were first doing it, that was the main thing, yeah.
Well,
Definitely, man. Yeah, for sure.
that's amazing. Yeah,
I mean-
I don't think a lot of people think about it that way.
But it's like
I guess-
it's like memes.
Yeah, it's memes.
It's
Yeah,
memes.
a lot of people tend to approach it from more of a mixing point of view,
Yeah.
and they'll just try to mix them into each other, a beat match.
Yeah.
But for you, it's more about creating a contrast between things, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's the name of the game is
and it doesn't require like all of one type of music either, does it?
no.
Mm.
Just the steady methodology for sure.
Mhm.
Like don't overthink it. Don't use Ableton, man. Well, if you're doing Liquid Damage, man, just
If you're
try-
doing
well,
chopped and screwed,
honestly, man, if you do anything, like I always believe limitation is
yeah,
is
absolutely.
the key to
I
like.
think we already had first time I met you.
we've
I
had
brought that up myself.
Yeah,
Limitation.
100%. It gives you it opens up ways that you. It opens up different ways of seeing things, and different ways of like solving things as well. Like, you know, you start to try to figure out ways, of like coming to solutions, but you know, you only have a set of rules or something.
Yeah, exactly.
follow, yeah.
It's but rather than making it sound so methodical and sort of, you know, like it's a dictatorship or something. I think that the other thing is, if we're sort of using a dictatorship as an analogy,
Yeah.
the good people are the rebels, but they're still working with limitations.
Absolutely.
So I think if you get frustrated with your limitations, you seek a sign of a good artist, I think, is someone that doesn't seek to buy the better equipment. They seek to problem solve with their limitations.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Definitely.
That's not the answer for chopped and screwed, especially.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't say it's the option. I mean,
It's
the end
it's
game.
I don't think there's any stereotype out there that chopped and screwed is made with the highest quality DJ equipment.
Definitely not, man. Like, I think how it started was there's actually DJ Screw's tape player, or like had a genuine screw loose, so it kind of like slowed it down. I'm definitely getting this wrong, but yeah, it came through with this sound that would develop into
I
screws.
think part of limitations also, especially if most of the work you do is in a home studio, is just embracing your limitations to the point that they become your lifestyle.
Yeah, man, minimalism.
But it's not just minimalism.
Well, it's not minimalism, yeah.
But it can be, sometimes people get it wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not. I think the image that portrays is people who sort of give off the vibe that they don't fully embrace themselves. And I think a lot, but what I really mean to say is that these with the artists that we're trying to describe that embrace limitation, it tends to kind of seep through their work in quite a genuine way.
Yeah.
Like they've embraced themselves and figured out a way that they feel truly comfortable in making music that they believe in.
Yeah. I mean, I reckon it even kind of like seeps out into the way you live as well, man. Like, if you're used to sort of like setting yourself rules for different things of your life, right? Like producing or painting or whatever.
Just understandings, in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just reckon it's definitely a good way to live, by sort of like, I guess it's a pretty general statement, but like, giving yourself some like rules, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, having rules to like almost everything that you do. But I do embrace spontaneity, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rules sounds a little strict. I feel like it's understandings and acceptances.
Yeah.
Of really your living circumstances.
Yeah.
And therefore your creative circumstances.
Yeah. I'm with it. For sure.
Mm.
Yeah, level of just like being happy with what you got.
Yeah.
Genuine.
Genuine.
It's good to seek higher and better things. That's going to be part of it, but also accepting where you are and like just embracing where you're at.
Oh man, for sure. For sure.
Genuinity. That's what we're on about.
Yeah, man. Genuinity is. I was actually reading a thing. It's like almost impossible to be genuine these days.
The more you try to be genuine, less genuine.
Yeah. I think it was more.
Well, I think it's if you're trying to be genuine, and what Nick is saying, if no one heard him, is if you're trying to be genuine too hard, you come off as a poser.
Yeah. You're kind of stabbing yourself a bit. But yeah, it's definitely hard to be genuine, especially with like so many people in the world sort of coming up with similar ideas and stuff, and having this massive ability to like engage with like a massive archive that's like online for sure. You have all this kind of like subconscious reference material as well as conscious reference material that like it's really hard to pinpoint that you've created something straight original, like that's yours, you know what I mean? And like that's what I'm trying to seek for sure. Like if I can get to a point where it's like like that's like purely me, that's bliss, man.
That's the feeling a lot of people seek, just to feel accomplished with their work.
Yeah, Yeah.
And that's sort of links back to progression and learning a craft.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment when you're trying to learn something in a skill that you still currently practice, and you remember having so much trouble with it?
Yeah,
but then 3 years on or 5 years on, you return to the same, to that same skill.
Yeah.
For me, as a musician, it's usually a piano piece I used to struggle on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you realize, you just laugh at that and you go, oh, that was
really
really easy, actually.
Yeah, I definitely have that with Rhinoceros, which is architectural program.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, because the controls are so I don't know, like it is one of those things where, like, when you get back to it, it feels like a massive, like, wave of stuff that you've completely forgotten, but like once you get into it, sort of comes back. But yeah, I wish I knew knew how to play an instrument though. That'd be sick. All I know is just like fucking programs and stuff.
Yeah,
but, you know,
I think that it definitely comes through. Sort of, you know that something's happening when you plateau in sort of your craft, and you sort of feel like your skill isn't advancing the way it used to.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion that when you're in that plateau stage, something that you're going to make some great discovery, and sort of breach out through that. Because maybe when you plateau, that's when, like, symptoms of that are when you're feeling dissatisfied with the work you're making.
Yeah.
But you're also getting frustrated because you can't think, and you try really hard, but you just can't think outside the limitations of your brain.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Shout outs to this song, man.
Yeah.
My God.
So it's not just about limitation.
No, I totally.
When do you choose to expand?
Yeah, I've definitely been in positions where, like, I've plateaued, but I don't know. Like, you always seem to come out of it for sure. But whether it is through, like, that new kind of different energy, perhaps, you know, a negative energy of being frustrated, you know, frustration can still produce incredible stuff, man.
It provokes carelessness.
Yeah, yeah.
The mistakes might break the
honestly,
boundaries
like,
that you had before.
Being frustrated is probably, like, feeling frustrated is probably better than feeling that you're on a plateau. Like, if you're on a plateau, it's like, fuck, man. Like,
completely agree.
You don't know, like, when you're gonna get out of this fucking plateau. But then when you're frustrated, it's like, yo.
But you also need to acknowledge the plateau.
Yeah, man, which is tough.
And it all takes time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the main thing. So this is why I was bringing up stuff where you look back on stuff that you did 5 years ago, and you go, oh, that was easy. I can see that my mind was less developed then, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But you always remember getting frustrated, and then
man,
having
definitely.
a great feeling after that.
Yeah, that is the, like, I mean, university is one of those places that definitely bring those, you know, those times out for sure. Like, you know, any time that you're kind of given you know, like an assignment that's worth something, you know what I mean, and you have a time limit on it, like, then you have, like, a very kind of established time frame of, like, you know, the probability of you plateauing and then getting frustrated and then accomplish, like, I swear that's why uni's just, like, you know, they're
trying to bring that out in people.
Yeah. Or no, like, not necessarily, but that's where I would kind of get all those feelings.
Well, I think I think that, well, at least my approach with education is, I think it's important to pursue education, whether it's in university or whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter in the context, but to pursue education as long as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
and it's for the same reason you're saying, so that you can have experiences that you feel are just test experiences in a funny way.
Yeah. Yeah. I reckon being on that level, pursuing intellectual, in your intellect, like it forces you to like kind of think critically, which I think is really important, especially when you're in the creative game. Like you need to be reading about other people's work so you can critique your own work. Like with
but
some
but
sort
learn
of,
from them and also
absolutely, yeah.
and also the more another thing that I think is beneficial just to trying to educate yourself your entire life is that you get to see the course of time pan out as well.
For sure.
So you understand how culturally things are changing in the music that you're making.
Yeah, for sure.
It's more of a fulfilling feeling when you're always learning versus maybe plateauing but not knowing and plateauing, but you're just kind of stagnant.
Yeah.
Feeling of like slight feeling of unease because you're not learning new stuff. I don't know. It's a weird contrast and balance between the two.
Yeah, man. I like.
Necessary, It's like
Yeah, if you're not reading, you're doing yourself a disservice for sure. Cause, man, all of my ideas, all of like it's all come from like reading something and then having that idea, sort of. But then that brings back the question of like genuinity. Like it has stemmed from a reference. You know what I mean? Everything does. Yeah. So that's the ultimate struggle is to become your own theorist.
yeah.
If you start, if you become your own theorist, then that's some genuine shit, dude. I reckon.
Mm.
Yeah. Or just like the striving to become, having that intent, that goal, sort of helps you achieve it.
Yeah.
I feel like there'll be like never an end goal, obviously, but like in that intent, it's like manifests itself. It's happen in there, basically.
Yeah. Fuck. True.
Mm. Anyway, how are we doing for time?
Yeah, we got for hour 7. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh shit.
Dang. Well, should we just finish off with a couple of things?
Yes, sir.
We always find like a cool little thing to hit, thing to slap. Yeah. No. I want to. I've already got a plan.
You want to hit a lick?
But also let's just quickly play Suppressed Memories.
Yeah.
And can you skip to the part where
yeah.
she's yelling at her mother? The tape will be up soon, by the way. Pass me mic.
Microphone.
Can you make? Starts off with some pretty bluesy stuff. You want to skip to that bit? Yeah. Felicia Atkinson textures. S&D. What does S&D stand for? We don't know. If someone's watching, tell us what S&D stands for. So, but what are you trying to reference with S&D?
No, nothing. No reference to the S&D or Felicia Atkinson, to be honest. They just provided some great samples, man. Some serious samples.
Rare samples. I think it's coming up soon.
yeah. So like
Because what you've done
my notes
to
is
our family.
just listen.
That I don't deserve to hold something like this, Mom. I have carried all of this since I was 6 and 7. No wonder I'm mad. Yes, I am mad at you, Mom. I forgive you, Mom. I do not blame you. But don't dare say I don't love you. Don't you dare. 'Cause I am here. To make sure you get the help you need so you can live and be healthy. Don't look at other people, Mom. This is about us. Don't be looking at other people. Look at me. I'm your daughter.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's that flutter sound is the S&D sound.
Mom, this is no. You didn't raise me. Mom, you have been gone for a long time. Don't you dare say you have been there. You have been there sometimes when you're lucid. You can't even talk straight right now. You should be looking at your daughter saying, wow, she's that upset. She's that hurt. Let me fix it. But you're not. And for some reason, you're looking at her. My daughter. I would never do. If Lily came to me, I would never do this to you.
What?
You need to sit down and listen to your daughter. This is your chance to get a grip on your life. And if you listen,
The sample's slowed down by 200%
sit down and listen to your daughter.
of what it was originally.
Sit down and listen to your
S&D on 10%.
not in this moment where she is telling you what
So there's the applause from the Dr. Phil show. They're clapping after that. It's like, wow, well done. It really is bizarre. So that's Suppressed Memories, which is my favorite track on Henry's Henry's tape, released under Liquid Damage, called "It's Not About You."
Yep.
So do you want to get that beer glass just behind you? I was actually keen on sussing that out.
Yo, shout out to Lily.
Shout out to Lily for giving Henry this Asahi beer glass. I'm not going to try and spill this delicious beer.
Pour it out for the
It's
homies.
balancing. I swear it's actually beer inside of here. So, do you want to cheers to finish off?
Yes.
Your Furphy and my Asahi?
Yo, thank you 56K, man.
Thank you.